your self-defense doesn't work. How many martial artists have ever heard that? I've spoke about this in great detail. I've been long-winded, opinionated, and what I'm really looking for is an interaction. I'm not trying to push people's buttons and get them irritated and aggravated. What I would really like is, your experiences and your commentary. And we don't need to get into big, deep philosophical conversations. I've seen that happen a couple of times with some of the people I love to converse with back and forth on here. You start that philosophical tumble and you and I can go forever, but let's keep it simple. Morning, Mr. Boyce. I hope you're practicing. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas to practice on here right now too. But we're going to address real quick, hopefully, the idea of real self-defense. I'm going to give you some of my secrets when I teach, some of the things that I've created, mustered, theorized, conceptualized, and actually put into practice over the last 45 years of my martial arts career. And see what you think about that. Good. If you watch the other video, what you heard me say was martial arts is not just for, let's keep this simple. Self-defense is not just for 20 to 45-year-old athletes. Everybody's entitled to learn how to protect themselves. At least I feel like everybody's entitled to it, okay? Not everybody wants to. I know it's politically incorrect to discuss what it is I'm about to discuss. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, and I know, bless your heart, some of you are more sensitive than others. If so, just don't listen, okay? Just move on. I'm not doing it to be disrespectful or to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm not going to watch what I say just because it might offend somebody. All right. So, when you talk about self-defense, it means a lot of things, and you've heard me say it. It starts with your awareness. When you're teaching self-defense, you need to train that. Now, what happens in a martial arts studio with self-defense is everybody wants to think that they teach self-defense. All martial arts instructors, I don't know too many that don't, unless they're really honest and they're focused on one traditional healing type of art, and they will tell you the truth. Real martial artists will tell you the truth. Look, in the healing arts, it's self-defense is about taking care of yourself. It's about the internal struggles and the mental fortitude and the spiritual health, or the spiritual toughness, if you want to say that. And they will tell you that some of the physical moves are just there for conversation starters. However, if you interpret some of the, I'm sorry, I jump all over the place. You ever heard people say that, they're something versus Tai Chi master, or this art versus this Tai Chi master? Tai Chi, while has self-defense applications hidden in its moves, is not built for self-defense. It was not that way. It was about health, and they misunderstand. I'm sorry, I jumped off the rail there. Again, though, you can have self-defense moves in anything you do. Remember Mr. Miyagi? Wax on, wax off. Don't start. Sand the floor. Paint the fence. Paint the house. Put your jacket on. You got to be careful how you say that one. That wasn't Miyagi, but I like that one too. Brushing your teeth is an outward elbow, right? Fixing your hair is an upward elbow. Putting on your pants is a front stomp kick. There are strikes that can be used in self-defense in everything that you do. Here's my task or challenge for you today, Mr. Boyce. Notice throughout the day movements that you make naturally without thinking, but movements that you make naturally throughout the day that are very close to potential strikes or blocks that you could use in self-defense. Think about it. Write down 10 or 12 of them and just have fun with it. That's your task for the day. And I might throw a couple of them in here for you, but let's talk about self-defense. So self-defense becomes the idea that, let me ask you, what does it mean to you? Does it mean I don't get in any fights? That's my self-defense. How do you do that? Well, I'm very good at verbal judo. De-escalation practices have become my specialty. Like basically, you can talk your way out of it. Or do you kill them with sarcasm, which is my book, ninja. It's verbal ninjutsu, right? Kill them with sarcasm, which typically doesn't stop a fight. But anyway, so is that your self-defense? You don't get in any fights. How? You're aware. You're aware of who you hang out with, what you say, where you go, what you do, other people in the area that could cause problems, all of this awareness stuff and decision-making skills. Now, the last time I said this about decision-making skills, where you go, who you hang out with, and what you do, people started coming back to me and saying, well, so you just don't go anywhere, or you don't have fun? No, that's not it. What's your idea of fun? And then what are the consequences? And I believe one of the examples was they like to go to concerts. And when they go to concerts, they like to get down front. And when you get down front at a certain type of concert, there's going to be scuffles. There's going to be, pushing and shoving and tightness, and it's going to be uncomfortable. If you put yourself in that environment, you got to know that's what's going to happen. How do you handle it? Are you patient? Are you calm? Are you helpful? Because your experience will be totally different than if you're a jerk, egotistical, or looking to push back and teach people a lesson about personal space. Right? Not that you can't go to a concert and enjoy it. That's not what I said. You can, but you got to know other people that go might be in that situation. And, I took my son to a Black Sabbath concert once. He was young. He was really young. We went and saw Heaven and Hell when Black Sabbath got Dio back, and they had a Megadeth open for him, another band open for him. I can't remember who it was now, sorry. Jimmy was little, and a row over or down and maybe 4 seats over, 3 guys got into a fight, a fist fight. Why? I don't know. They're being stupid. That's why. What was my concern? Did I jump up and intervene and start? No. I made sure that Jimmy and Sarah, my wife, were safe. Nothing entered our little circle. Nobody got hurt in our area. And I made sure of it. How? Did I stand up and beat people up? No. Self-defense was my attitude, that this calmness from this point over, and the fact that I could control and handle anything that passed that line kept it from happening. Were there instigations of intrusion? Yes. Did it end immediately? Attitude. So these are parts of self-defense. Is that what you train? If it is, bravo, because the best way to win a fight, and nobody wins a fight, is to not fight at all. If forced to fight or forced to defend yourself physically, you need some skill sets. You need some tools. I'm going to give you one idea right now that I teach emphatically across the line about all of my martial arts. Okay, you ready? There are only 3 reasons to strike, 3 basic reasons to strike. You can split hairs all day long, but here are the 3 basic reasons to strike. Think about this. 1, positioning. Number 2, rebounding. And if you don't know what rebounding is, you can reach out to me and I'll explain it to you. You can talk to some Kempo people, but I know that most Kempo people have not taken their rebounding skills as far down the rabbit hole as I have. I've got 3-dimensional, 4th-dimensional, and even 6th-dimensional rebounding ideas and theoretical practice. And let my teacher, Grandmaster Larry Tatum, say, son, sometimes you go too far down the rabbit hole. There's no such thing as too far. Anyway, 3 reasons to strike. Well, right, what are they? I just gave them to you. 1, positioning. Okay, 2, rebounding. And number 3, destruction. So if you look at self-defense and you're being attacked physically forced to defend yourself. The person attacking you, now I can't say this across the board. I don't know everybody who likes to attack. I know there are certain types of people who just like to fight. I know there are certain type of people that want to hurt you no matter what. I know there are bad people that don't give 1 ounce of care about anybody but themselves, and they're going to take what they want or try to take what they want, and they don't care what happens. Okay, so I can't say specifically how the fight's going to happen, but I will say this: once it starts, you need to disengage as quickly as possible. You don't want to stand your ground and fight 2, 3, 5 people as it grows. You don't want to throw blows with somebody Hollywood style for 3 to 5, 10 minutes, for 15 minutes. That's a long time for something to happen. You want to get in, you want to get out, you want to get home. How do you do this? Well, you don't follow rules and you don't wrestle around. I'm not telling you to hurt people. When you have self-defense, it's different for everybody across the board. I'll say this again. Younger kids, when they fight, used to, I don't know how stupid it's gotten these days, but in school, fights, under the age of 12 or over a girl or, hey, can we do it? Or a sport, one of the games went wrong or something, and it's just somebody being stupid. There were bullies, of course. But fights, you pop somebody in the nose, and there's that old adage, everybody's tough until they get hit in the face. Happens, and reality sets in, and one of them will back off or it's over, right? Sometimes you even shake hands and learn a lesson from it. As teenagers start to fight, and it's changed from the 70s, 80s, 90s to now, what takes place in schools. And can you blame video games? Sure, you can blame media or television programming, right? Or movies, whatever, for desensitization as far as hurting people, or even some sport martial arts who have bad attitudes, who train bullies. And I'm not talking about Cobra Kai. I'm talking about, some of the sport martial arts. They get in there, kill them, and it's just nonsense. You don't train people to be dickheads like that. Excuse my language. So teenagers now are getting hurt. I've seen videos of people slamming their heads into parking curbs and some pretty nasty stuff. So self-defense becomes a little more realistic in those ages because of stupidity and disrespect. So could you say learning self-respect, a little discipline could curtail all of that? Yeah, if it started in the homes and you started teaching people early on, if everybody believed that self-respect and respect was important, and they started teaching it in the homes and they started teaching it in the schools, and it carried through, it's going to take more than a generation, I would imagine, to fix the fallback that's happened. Even in movies and video, I can't say video games. It's never going to stop. But you get my drift. All right, and then young adults. Usually, young adults fight. Why? Well, ego, alcohol, drugs, or somebody's trying to suppress somebody else. Robbery, home invasions, carjackings, gang members, or other people out in society doing what they need to do to become part of the gang or an association, or even just they just think it's fun to hurt people. And you see that a little bit too. Again, disrespect, right? So when that takes place and you need to protect yourself against that, one, your awareness should be the first thing you train. Why? Bad people get to choose when and where they attack you. You don't get to. Typically, they will know before you know that you're being attacked. Your reaction skills and how you respond to that attack is from training. You have to train, though, what's beyond that response. Because once you get into your oh crap position or your defensive posture or whatever it is you want to do, and you start applying your pressure, you need to know to what end. This is where self-defense, sport, and the art of fighting differ. Because when it comes down to self-preservation, typically you don't escalate with the escalation. Meaning, They up the ante, you up the ante. Because pretty soon, if you're chasing their intention, they're one step ahead, you're done. You have to become the attacker when you're attacked and end it. That's self defense. Now, how do you end it? There are many ways to end a self defense encounter. Many. Don't think I'm telling you to destroy somebody. However, if that is the only way to preserve what it is you love or yourself, then I'm not going to tell you not to do it. We won't go any further there legally, right? So, self defense comes in many shapes, many sizes, and many ideas. Your practice today is going to be able to is to see what natural motions you make throughout the day that could be used as a self-defense tool. Then apply it to the end degree. What do I mean by the end degree? How far are you willing to take your self-defense? Okay. When you start asking that question, you need to do this. All self-defense instructors should have you do this, and they should do it regularly on themselves. What are you willing to fight for? What morals, what standards, what principles are you willing to stand up for? There are certain lines that you have to draw in life where that's a hard line and you decide, no, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to let this occur. Generally, it's with other people in our lives. It's easier for you to put somebody you love in that equation and come up with an answer than it is for yourself. Why? We're just that way. Most people that can protect themselves will put up with a lot of crap. Me, I'll take a punch. I'll take somebody calling me names. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I consider the source and then I consider the outcome, because if I push it beyond a certain point, that person's not going to be around much longer. I don't like that. I don't want that. That's not what I'm about. Therefore, when I'm by myself, I got a little bigger line. Put somebody else in the equation and I know exactly where it stops. How about you? If you don't, please think about it when you train. Okay, so real self-defense. Let's talk about it. Here's what I would like to have as a conversation. Comment on here. Please comment on here. Let me give you some categories. You don't train martial arts, but you think about this. Okay, so you're not a martial artist. Maybe you did when you were younger, or whatever, but you're not a long-term martial artist. And you think about this regularly. You think about as you age, or now that you're married or have kids, whatever situation in your life there is that makes you think, hey, I need to start learning to protect my family, myself, my belongings, my property. If that's you, if that's your category, let me hear from you. Yeah, I think about this, and this is what I think I need to do. You don't need to put anything incriminating on there. God, how do we do this? Reach out to me privately if you're unwilling to comment publicly. I'm totally okay with that. Number two, let's say you're a traditional, or not traditional, you're a martial artist. You've been a martial artist for a few years. You're in a sport martial art, or let's start there. You've been a sport martial art, and what you think that what you've learned is not applicable, and now you have to add other martial arts, or the whole idea of mixed up martial arts, right? MMA and mixed up martial arts. You need to add this, you need to add that. This is true for some styles. Some styles are not complete. Believe it or not, if you're a Kempo person, you don't know this so much if you haven't studied anything else. A lot of arts are very small in what they teach. They have certain specialties, and that's it. So yeah, you have to add, like the old kung fu adage, if you're learning tiger style and somebody learns crane style, they can kind of match and balance and maybe possibly beat each other. Well, we're going to learn dragon style, or to come fight dragon style, I'm going to be praying mantis or snake style. These are ideas that have been around forever. Okay. If you're Kempo, though, your Kempo perpetuates itself and encompasses all the great ideas of most of those martial arts. So there you go. So if that's you, and you feel like the art that you're in now needs to be supplemented with other things, tell me what you're thinking about that is. Why do you feel that way? And we'll discuss. And I'm not going to bash anybody, I promise. Now, let's say that you have never studied martial arts, but you're a senior, or you're an adult, and you know that, the time is coming when you're going to have to protect yourself, and you worry about injuries, even self-imposed injuries. reach out to me. Let's talk about that. I've got videos coming out for all this stuff. And you can buy these home training programs for yourself in all four of those categories. So, all right, I'm going to jump off here. It's been 20 minutes. I've mouthed off and up. Well, I got to do this more often so my videos are shorter. Mr. Boyce, I miss you in class. I don't know if you're showing up today. I know you guys have had some issues with your health. If you show up, I'll see you. If not, make sure you practice. Okay, I'll come back on here with some more videos this week. Until the next time, on your mark, get set, grow.